From the Daily Wire, Republican governor of Utah, Spencer Cox, signed a controversial piece of legislation on Tuesday requiring all smartphones and tablets sold in Utah to have filters that can block pornography. Governor Cox has said that the proposal would send an important message about prohibiting children from gaining access to explicit online material. The bill states it would require a smartphone or tablet sold in Utah and made on or after January 1st of the year following the year this bill takes effect to, when activated in the state, automatically enable a filter capable of blocking material that is harmful to minors. The filter on the device must, quote, prevent the user of the device from accessing material that is harmful to minors on the device, enable certain users to deactivate the filter for the device for specific content, and notify the user when content is filtered. And that's the bill. I think, it's controversial because we lived in a porn-obsessed society, and many people, their porn habit is sacred to them, and anything that could present any obstacle to getting to porn for a lot of people in this country because they're addicted to it, any obstacle they consider to be a horrific affront against them and against their human rights. Because what would be the reason for objecting to this? You want to look at porn, you can still look at it. It's not going to stop you. It's just, you got the filter, you got to change the settings or whatever. Is that too much of an effort? But people are opposed to it. The whole idea, and this to me, now you know how I feel about porn. I'd be in favor of banning it outright. So this is one little baby step in the right direction. I'm fully in favor of it. And the point here is to protect children. And what we have to remember is that children, and I know we're getting away from this in a big way in society. We talk about dangerous trends, a lot of dangerous trends when it comes to race, as we talked about. A lot of dangerous trends here, too, when it comes to children and our ideas of consent. But traditionally, what we've always known, and what is not just traditionally true, but actually true, is that children can't consent. They don't have the psychological ability to fully consent to anything, really, especially a sexual act. Looking at pornography is, in effect, a sexual act. You are becoming a participant, a third-party participant in this sexual act as a viewer. Children can't consent to that. They don't have the ability to consent to it. So if this stuff is made available to them, they are victims. The moment a child is exposed to pornography, they cannot choose. You could say, well, they chose to look. No, they can't choose. They cannot choose to look at it. Even if they choose, they didn't really choose it. Because they can't consent. And choices about consent, they can't do it. So we can't expect children to guard their own hearts and minds when it comes to pornography. We have to put the filters in place to protect them. And I don't want to hear anything about, oh, it's the parents' job. If your parents should do it. I agree the parents should be doing it. So what? That doesn't mean that we shouldn't take other steps as well. Yes, parents should be protecting the kids from this, but number one, a lot of parents don't. And so what are we saying about those kids? Too bad? There are millions of kids in this country. Their parents should be protecting them. Parents are not. And so our message on porn is, well, too bad. So what? Those kids, they'll be exposed to hardcore pornography at the age of 8 years old and be psychologically ruined by it. Too bad. We're not going to do anything for them. Parents didn't help you out, kid. Sorry. That's the attitude? Yeah, that is the attitude of a lot of people. I find it morally deranged and absolutely indefensible. Because the only reason you're taking that position is just because you love looking at porn and you don't want to be interfered with. So a lot of kids have parents who don't protect them. And then also, it is not possible. A parent can only do so much to protect their kid from this stuff. It is so ubiquitous, and this stuff is out there everywhere. If your kid leaves your sight at all, which at a certain point he's going to, he's going to be around, his friends are going to have phones, there's going to be laptops and stuff. He's going to go to his friend's house. He doesn't have to go to his friend's house anymore, right? He can just go outside and be walking with his friend. The friend pulls out the phone and looks at it. Like, there's only so much that you as a protective parent can do. There's a lot you can do, but you can't do everything. yet more reason to put measures in place to beyond what the parent can do to help these kids. It's like the analogy that I use of, think about buying pornography the old-fashioned way, the way they used to do it in the old days, going to the gas station and buying a porn magazine or something. Now, what if a kid went in, 10-year-old kid goes into a gas station, pulls a porn mag off of the rack, and goes to buy it. It would be illegal for the cashier to sell that magazine to the child. Now, you can say, what's that kid doing in a gas station by himself? Where are that kid's parents? It's the parent's job to make sure the kid's not buying a porn mag. True, you're right. Yes. But for whatever reason, the parents aren't there right now. The kid is there. So does that mean that the cashier should just sell it to him? The fact that the parent isn't there, is that an excuse? Is that a good reason? Is that justification for the cashier to make the decision to sell that magazine? I would hope you would say no. Even if this kid has neglectful or negligent parents, especially if he has negligent parents, still you can't sell him the magazine. You're committing a crime if you do. See, you as the person at the gas station selling this material, the onus is on you to put measures in place to make sure that kids are not obtaining this stuff. You can't do everything either. There are ways around it for kids, but there are some basic measures we expect you to put in place as the person who is offering this stuff to protect kids. Why don't we have the same requirements of porn sites? We have zero requirements. You understand that? Zero. Right now, there are zero requirements for porn sites in terms of protecting kids and making sure that they're not giving their product to children. They zero. We don't expect anything of them. We expect more of the cashier at the gas station than we do of like Pornhub. Once again, indefensible. Makes no sense at all. And I've never heard a defense for this other than, I've heard a lot of defenses, but they all seem to boil down to the person saying it. What they're really saying is, I like porn and, I don't want to think about it any more than that, and I don't want anything to interfere with me looking at porn. Well, I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Matt Walsh Show. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right down there so you can stay up to date on all of our future content.